Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Chequered Show, episode number 17. I'm your host, Reese, and alongside me, I've got Matt and Faith once again. How are we doing?
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm all right.
First thing I want to say, I think that Mexican Grand Prix was probably the best Mexican Grand Prix we've had since its return in 2015.
I enjoyed it. It was a good race.
Yeah, it was very entertaining to watch compared to some of the others that we've had so far this season.
Especially when we come from Austin, where it wasn't too much action, and in Mexico we had. I feel like there was overtakes and drama going on all throughout the race.
It showed that even if a driver runs away with first, it doesn't matter. There can still be an exciting race.
Yeah. So first of all, who wants to go first on their moments of the race, their key part of the race?
I'd happily talk a bit about Norris.
Do you want to go? So Norris.
Yeah, I just think that is one of the best drives we've seen from any driver this season. The fact he put his head down and he was like, right, I'm winning this race. And he just, I know obviously all the drama behind him helped him out, but to win the race by 30 seconds is the biggest win margin this season, is it not?
Yeah.
And it was such an impressive drive. He wanted that, and I think it's showing how much he wants to win the championship.
Yeah, I back it. I think it was a very good drive, especially from Norris. We haven't seen drives like that from Norris in a long time. So drives like that, I think, makes everyone seem like, he is quite confident in this car. He could go and win it quite easily if he sticks to the mentality that he had during that race.
It's just ruthless again.
Yeah.
And it's what you need to be. I would say it's kind of the opposite of what we've seen from Piastri the last couple of weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Norris put his head down. He's made it very clear this is his championship to win. I'm winning it. That's what he's basically done with his driving. Whereas Piastri's kind of been like,
I'm leading.
Oh well.
Yeah. No, I'd say with Norris, I do feel with Norris, between the two drivers, I do feel Piastri, we've seen the best from Piastri, we know what he can do. But I feel like the whole season, it was almost, we were waiting for Lando Norris to just turn up, because I feel like moments where he was making mistakes and he didn't quite a pace here and there. And I think we're finally seeing the Lando Norris that we expected from the start of the season. And absolutely dominated the weekend. Even when Piastri, this weekend he was 6 cents off him in qualifying.
Also, just how sad Norris looked at the start of the season. Like all the time, every interview. I remember you watch the ones from like Australia and Bahrain. He just looks really sad all the time. And then nowadays he looks much happier again. He's smiling again. He's enjoying driving the car. And nothing seems to be phasing him anymore.
I think the pressure's off him, that's the thing. And I think that's helped him. I think he's driven without pressure, but...
Is it back on him now?
I think the pressure is ramped up with both of them, considering it's a 1 point gap.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the next race is now ahead, and then whoever wins the race after that could go back ahead.
It's kind of like, I feel like it's going to go back to 2021, like with Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
it's going to go down to the wire.
It's definitely going to Abu Dhabi.
I hope it comes to the last 10 laps, but I hope what happened before doesn't happen.
I hope they don't interfere.
Yeah, just let them race.
Yeah.
If there's a safety car, then you do the normal procedure. But I think McLaren and Zach Brown and Andrea need to back off if it goes to Abu Dhabi. Just let them race, and if there's a collision, there's a collision.
So that's all we want. We just want to see the two drivers going at it, rather than all these papaya rules and all this random nonsense that's going around. We just want to see these two drivers going for it. Quite bad
for Norris. At the end, he was being booed when he was doing
I don't get what he's done.
I don't understand why he's being booed.
I think it's so disrespectful. Like, the guy's gone and dominated the weekend. No matter what your opinions are of any driver of Norris, I think the booing is one of the worst things you could ever do. Just give the guy the credit. Like,
it's not a football crowd.
No. If he I don't know, wiped out Verstappen at the start or something like that, I can kind of understand it. But I don't think he's done anything wrong. And this is where people's biases kind of.
He drove the quietest race. He couldn't possibly have done anything to annoy anyone.
I kind of understand, like when Verstappen was being booed because it was so controversial and all that. I don't think booing should be allowed. I think it's disrespectful and is horrible. But I don't understand what Norris did to deserve being booed. I'm like, did he say something that we've just not picked up on?
I think just the whole stuff with the whole
papaya rules
situation and stuff like that. And I get that, but for me, give the guy the credit of winning the Grand Prix. He fully deserved it and things.
And winning it the way he did as well.
Winning it the way he did. Look at everything all happened behind him. he didn't get involved in any of that. You know, Lewis got involved in the incident with Verstappen. We'll get into that later. So he just drove a clean race, and it's probably the most cleanest race he's driven all season. And as I said before, I think with this race was like, that's a Lando Norris that I know him as.
That I've seen in the past. Yeah.
Which is why I think I said last week that I do think on pure speed, I do think Norris is a quicker driver than Piastri.
If I was Zach Brown, I would be saying to him, 4 races left, just do that.
Go for it.
Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because if he drives like that, even if Piastri picks up his form, he will struggle to lay a glove on him. Because if you drive like that, there's not much anyone can do.
Yeah. Do you believe this whole Piastri fans coming out and saying about sabotaging?
No.
Things like that.
McLaren wouldn't do that because it's too risky. Because say it comes out, I don't know, they've reduced his engine power or something, or I don't know, they've done something to put him at our weakness. They're going to look so bad in the future, and it's going to make you such an unattractive prospect to join for young drivers.
Yeah.
You're shooting yourself in the foot if you do that.
But also, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to give one driver a better engine.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do it back in the day, but now there's rules in place to not be able to do that. And I don't think there's any sort of telemetry that says he's down on power and things like that.
Also, if you want to talk about sabotage, I mean, I'll just say, I don't know, Lando Norris had 2 mechanical failures, Piastri's had none. If they really wanted to sabotage him, would you not, you know?
That's true.
I feel like it's just. I mean, I'm on the fence with both of them. I don't really mind who wins the championship because it's my team.
I just want the best drivers to win the championship. That's
whoever comes out is clearly the better driver. But I think dedicated Piastri fans are starting to now clutch at straws because he's behind by 1 point.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do because he's bottled it.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for Piastri because he had such a good lead and we were all like, he could win this.
If he doesn't win it,
easily.
he has bottled it.
Yeah,
I'd say.
100%.
He had a big lead. He will have bottled it if he doesn't win it.
Yeah, I do feel quite bad for him, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you clearly haven't. You've just kind of shrugged it off and kept on racing and not paid attention to everything else that's going on around you.
And the thing is that drivers do have poor weekends. Because every driver has a poor weekend doesn't mean sabotage. And
but also, he's had poor weekend in a row, I think, is the thing.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But it's like with Hamilton. How many poor weekends has he had in a row? We're not claiming sabotage at Ferrari.
Yeah, I think it's such an outrageous thing to just put out there when you have no evidence for it.
Yeah.
I know last year with Lewis at Mercedes, where a lot of fans was kind of saying, "Oh, Mercedes are sabotaging Lewis." I never backed that. I never followed that because I'm like, until I've got actual evidence that's actually happening, then I'm gonna.
I don't think you get claims like this before Drive to Survive happened, and now anyone just thinks there's some drama in this sport, which there's not.
No.
Like
Netflix definitely hasn't helped.
This is not a drama sport. This is a sport with real integrity and drivers who just push themselves to the limit.
Yeah.
There's no sabotage or anything going on. This is all because people are looking for some drama or a story.
And Netflix will spin it either way. They will.
I can't fathom what they're going to come out with for Drive to Survive this season with this title fight.
Just want to watch it to see what they bring out.
They'll make some
happens.
stupid AI clip of Norris hitting Piastri or something like that's not even real.
Or they'll use the same one over and over again and be like, that was in Austin or wherever.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Things with the whole Netflix stuff, I do believe the all or nothing stuff that they do with the football.
Yeah.
And stuff. I thought that would be so much better than the Netflix stuff.
Well, I was
telling the stories properly.
Yeah, I was speaking to you earlier about F1 Academy and their one that they released. So good.
Yeah, it is.
They stuck to what was being told behind the scenes and on track. They didn't dramatise anything. They literally followed these girls around like you were supposed to and didn't spin any stories.
Which is what you want. I think that's so much more interesting than just making up some drama between two drivers that don't exist.
It was like with with Danny Rick and Lando Norris. Oh, there's this massive rivalry between them. Like, no, there's not.
No.
It's the ones that annoy me is when you can very, very clearly tell that the drivers really get on and they're painting it as a rivalry. Like it's like they'll try and put something between Verstappen and Norris, I reckon, this season when they're good mates off the track.
Yeah. I think they fly into tracks with each other.
Exactly.
All the time.
And Netflix will probably find a way to twist it that they had some massive fight after one of the races. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to come back onto Piastri. Piastri was saying after the race that there's been changes to the car that he's having to adjust to or something, which from what I've read, it's something to do with the front suspension that they've changed something on it. And Lando Norris is seeming to get the best out of it, and Piastri is not being able to get the best out of it.
Are they then tailoring the car to Norris a little bit more?
Maybe.
Which is the whole argument is McLaren favouring Norris. That's
But if
that
it's
whole-
an actual
whole-
upgrade, then
It's
I'm
not-
sorry, you
I-
have to
no,
adapt to
I
it.
don't
If
think-
it's an
I
upgrade,
think all I saw was something to the front suspension. There's no upgrades because they didn't bring upgrades.
oh right. Well,
or
then if
anything
it's an
like that,
adaptation, then that's a fair point. Like if it's
Yeah.
an upgrade, then Piastri has to adapt. But if it's an adaptation
Yeah.
to help Norris, and that maybe is a bit unfair.
Mm.
And I also saw, I think Norris was running a higher drag setup this weekend as well. So obviously in the corners he's much quicker, which you kind of want around Mexico because of the high altitude. You need higher downforce and
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe that was a factor in terms of, because I think, was it out turn 5? Piastri was suffering in qualifying, was suffering with some sort of engine issue.
It was
Why
around
did he
that,
not change
wasn't it?
his setup then?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I know McLaren they just split the two setups, but then people are arguing why doesn't Piastri go with Norris's setup?
If that one clearly works.
If it's working, you see drivers do it all the time. Leclerc and Hamilton, they share setups. It happens like all the time. So
I think it's because it's a championship battle.
Yeah.
They're like,
You don't beat your opponent by copying him. You gotta do something
but
different
if
to
it's the
beat them.
best way to do it, and you believe that you're quicker than them by doing that, then yeah, you should. So, but yeah, I think the championship battle is going to be interesting from now to the end of the season. Especially with Max, he's still there. He's gained 4 points on first place.
Shark's closing in.
So
The Shark is closing
He's
in.
still there.
Nom nom.
But do you think it's just a little bit of a stretch for him
Yeah.
to do it?
I think I said it last week, and I still think that it's between Verstappen and Norris.
That's what
But-
that's what Jackson Williams said.
But I do think that Norris is going to drive well enough now, because that performance in Mexico just oozed confidence. The only thing I can see getting in his way is an incident with Piastri.
Yeah.
I could see them having a
Yeah.
crash, and then the gap's very small. But disregarding that, I think Norris will be the best from here on out.
Yeah. I do feel that Max needs a DNF from either of the McLaren drivers.
Yeah,
If not
well,
both.
both
Both of
really.
them. He really
Or
needs to
or
DNF
just a
both.
really bad finish where they get like, I don't know, 6th and
They need
10th.
another. They need another. Was it? Where did they have a poor race? They finished quite low. My mind's gone blank.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
That's it. When Piastri was out, and then Norris was P7, was he? I think. So yeah, I think he needs that. But I still think it's interesting because he's always going to be there. We're at Brazil next. That's one of his best circuits. 2016 was an incredible drive. Last year as well was incredible. So yeah,
Max knows his tracks.
He knows.
Well, they all know their
Yeah.
tracks, but like he knows it like the back of his hand, and
Yeah.
he knows
Yeah.
where to push. He knows where to ease off.
Yeah.
He knows,
He knows
when
his
to
car
attack.
as well, I think.
He knows
now.
the car.
Yeah.
He knows where it's drivable and where it's not drivable, and what shifts and downshifts work and what
Well,
doesn't
if
work.
they try,
If they work.
if they do work.
If they do work, I mean, who knows? We can go back to 1964 all over again, but,
But,
he's definitely
yeah.
a massive contender.
Yeah, I think he's still there, but I do also think that I feel like we're almost one McLaren win away from it being between the two McLaren drivers. I do think, and I think if Norris can go and win in Brazil, that's another 7 points. So if say Piastri was to finish second, that will be 8 points. So he's effectively a race win ahead with an extra point. So
Yeah.
the advantage is, so I feel like the next race is so crucial for the.
It's now in Norris's court, whereas last week it was in Piastri's court.
Yeah.
But I think it could keep changing now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think at the moment the momentum is Lando Norris, and I think it's hard for me to argue that Lando Norris is not going to win the World Championship. And I've said the whole year that it would be Piastri, just because seeing what his performances, his consistency, his pace, but his pace has just dropped off. And I do believe Norris will. I think Norris will go and do it now. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah.
And I think Jackson Villeneuve said this as well. He's a controversial guy, but I don't really mind him, to be fair. I don't mind differing opinions on things. But he said that he thinks that Norris races Verstappen better than Norris races Piastri better.
But I think it's probably fear partly as well, because you never want to crash into your teammate.
Yeah.
Whereas with Verstappen, you're going to be more aggressive because you know he's going to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you got that team kind of relationship as well. You don't want to spoil all of that stuff
Fracture
as well.
the-
Do you reckon they get on, Piastri and Norris, off the track? Because I really can't tell.
I don't really know, to be
When
fair.
I say get on, I don't mean they can't be in a room without fighting. I mean, like, do you reckon they're...
I don't think they willingly go and hang out.
No,
That's
no,
what I mean. I don't think they do.
I don't think they
do.
willingly go. I think if it's like a team thing, then
Yeah.
maybe. But
That's what I'm getting at. Is like, would they be friends off the track?
I think
I don't think so. I
Norris
think-
is more closer with Verstappen and the others than he is with
Yeah.
Piastri, whereas Piastri is going to be closer with
Yeah.
Jack Doohan and
I think
people that he.
I think
grew
they're
up
also
with,
completely
if that
different
makes
people as well. So I
Oh.
can't really imagine them being a part of the same group sort of thing.
sense.
And maybe a case of when they first were teammates, they got along, but where they're going for titles now, a bit like Lewis and Nico, where
Yeah.
they were best mates going through karting and all that stuff. But once it was time to win championships, that's where the relationship kind of tailed off between the two of them. So I think definitely if one of them, it probably will be one of them that wins the championship. Next season will be very interesting to see the dynamics and relationships, because then, say if Norris wins the championship, it's then Piastri going, right, I need to get one up on you now.
Yeah.
And obviously for Norris, the monkey's off the shoulders of the fact that he's already won a title, he can just chill, he's done what he's dreamed of. So next season's definitely going to be interesting, new cars
New
as
cars.
well. I actually want to say this, just off the top of my head, so with Red Bull, they've continued to upgrade their car, throughout the season. So I think what happened is Horner when Horner was there, he didn't upgrade the car and whatever. He was focused on the next year, so that's why they wasn't bringing upgrades. But since Lauren Marquise's come in, they've brought a load of upgrades on, and they've gone, right, we're going to give Max the best chance to try and go for the championship. And if he can win the championship, it does better for Verstappen, because he will then stay beyond 2026 and things like that, so he doesn't go off to Aston Martin or whatever. But do you think, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, that McLaren should have continued upgrading, knowing that Red Bull were going to continue this upgrading stuff as well?
I still think the car's
Because
quick
I
enough.
think if Verstappen's, because throughout the whole season, Verstappen was always taking poles, the odd wins here and there.
Yeah.
So even if Red Bull won a few upgrades, which they have, they've now turned it on and switched it on.
I think the thing is with McLaren is they've had the quickest car by far, and it depends how good their car's going to be next year, because if the fact they've not bought upgrades means their car next year will be significantly quicker,
Yeah.
it's been worth it. But if it's not done anything for their car next year, then there's no point.
But I think, we saw with Red Bull when in 2013, they just kept upgrading right to the end and then in 2014 they had a really poor car.
That's the risk you got to take. Though.
That's really
Do we keep upgrading this car to keep this title, or do we leave it and mainly focus on the 2026
which is
car
what-
rather than new car?
Which is what we've seen with Verstappen, with Red Bull, where they've gone, we're going to fully focus on this year, don't really care about next year. That's what they seem like. But when they were upgrading when they was working on the 2026 car at the start of the year a lot, they've probably gone, right, we've actually done enough here, we can actually focus a bit more on this year.
I also think it's because they know that they are in a chance to give Max the title again.
Yeah, which they have to do.
I think earlier on in the season they were like, bless you, they were like, no, this is out of the question.
Yeah.
So we'll focus on 2026.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, he's in for a chance where he can win this.
Yeah.
So let's push an upgrade.
But I think-
Yeah, but it's a fact as well that we're saying, I mean, even us here now are saying it's a chance. It's not that they've given him the car to go and do it, which shows that McLaren's car is still miles quicker, because otherwise we'd be saying, they've given Max the car to do it now
Yeah.
because of their upgrades. It's still, well, hang on, the car's quicker, but it's still not as quick as that McLaren. So
Yeah.
I think it's on the drivers. If Verstappen wins the championship, it's not on McLaren at all. It's on the McLaren
Yeah.
drivers.
I do agree. Should we move on from the whole
Yes.
championship stuff? Faith, shall we come to your
Yes. Ollie Behrman.
Ollie Behrman? What weekend?
A drive.
What a drive.
It was.
Amazing.
Such a good drive.
Big up Chelmsford.
Yes, big up Chelmsford. Yeah, it was just incredible to see him go from, where did he start? P7?
P9 he started.
P9.
Yeah.
And he finished in 4th.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for,
Where's the
like we
podium
were
for?
saying, like a little incident between Max and
Just an
Charles,
incident.
just so he could like get on the podium and join the other rookies. But
That would have made this year.
It would have been
Oh.
Haas's first podium as well. So
exactly,
just Behrman.
yeah.
It's-
And I'm like, it was such a good drive. I was cheering him the whole time. I was, come on, Ollie, and
Yeah.
especially being from Chelmsford
Yeah.
and being down the road, I'm like
I mean,
backing him all the way to win this.
The thing for me as well is it's the way that he got himself in the position, because the whole thing happened with Max and Lewis, which obviously we'll get onto, but it's the way that he didn't worry about what was going on there. He's like, fuck it, there's a gap there.
Yeah,
and
keep my head in.
He just went for it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Where goes Behrman?
Yeah.
He was like,
Literal moment it was.
He was just like, I'm in third now, and then he just managed to stay there.
And he had Max Verstappen behind him, which eventually he got
Yeah.
past him. But then he also had Oscar Piastri behind him.
And
in
he
the
kept- and he
McLaren,
kept him.
He had Piastri behind him. He had Antonelli behind him at one point. He had Russell. Did you add everyone just throwing the kitchen sink at him?
And I was like,
He was so calm under pressure.
it's like, I'm not going to budge. I thought it was
Yeah, he's
such
like,
a good
I'm in.
drive,
I'm having
especially for he's 20.
Yeah.
And like, especially with any of the rookies, like some of the drives that they've had this year
Yeah.
have been incredible. It definitely shows that the bar has been whacked up.
Am I right in thinking it's his first time in Mexico as well?
Yeah.
Yep,
His
first-
first ever time.
So first time in Mexico, best finish of the season and best ever finish
Yeah.
of his whole F1 career so
Yeah.
far.
I think he's got the minerals to be one of the like
He could be up there.
world
100%.
champions.
Yeah,
potentially.
100%.
I do want to say, like, him, like, his team is Esteban Ocon, who is, for me, I do put him around my top 10 drivers.
He's very good.
Like,
Ocon. He's
like,
so
on the grid.
underrated.
Yeah.
So to come in and have a really good really good yardstick in Ocon to kind of judge yourself on, and he, especially this kind of second half of the season, he's basically quicker than him, or kind of very.
They're
similar
kind of
to
at
him.
par, aren't they?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
when you've got a
is
driver as
really good.
experienced as Ocon, that is a statement for a rookie
Yeah.
to be as
Yeah.
quick, because you're not expected to keep up with him in the first season, and he is.
Yeah, I was so happy. I was
Yeah.
so proud to be from Essex and to be half an hour away from Chelmsford.
When was the last
down there.
driver from Essex that was in Formula One? It's
Oh,
got to be a long,
bloody
long time
hell.
Lord
ago.
knows, It was definitely like the amount of things I've seen on like BBC Essex and
I saw even
Chelmsford.
Chelmsford City FC posted like
But,
a
like, well
congrats
done,
to
Ollie.
Chelmsford and Ollie Behrman. And I was like,
It
yeah.
was such like, especially when I
Incredible.
found out that he lived down the road like 5 seasons ago. When I was watching him in F3 and F2, I was like, right, this guy's gonna make it into Formula One, and when he hits Formula One, I'm going to be there. Like watching him from F3 and be now in F1 racing with Haas, and also being in a Ferrari and doing a
Yeah.
race last season in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's a massive deal, and I just hope maybe if he stays with Haas, okay, but
I
if he
think when
gets,
Lewis
he
leaves, he'll
needs
go
to
to
sign for Ferrari, and I really hope
Yeah.
he does, and I really hope they don't do him over because I will be gutted.
I think he will when Lewis retires. I think that seat is Behrman's to take.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do agree.
Because-
And when he jumped to that Ferrari last year in Saudi Arabia, pretty decent performance.
Yeah.
he can show that you can be a part of that team.
yeah, 100%. I mean, you're always going to make mistakes. Like sometimes, like we've
Yeah,
seen a couple mistakes from him all the time. Like
Yeah.
we see it from all the rookies, but like the fact that he started again 9th and has finished in 4th
Yeah.
with championship leaders and
Yeah.
former world
He's
championships and everything.
He's kept the contender to be world champion behind him for what, 20 laps at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Shows that he's kept his head cool, and he definitely can go on to be a world championship if he keeps performing.
I'd
the way
love
he's
to
performing.
know what would have happened if Haas hadn't pitted him.
Yeah. Well, he was
I
in third
think-
at one point.
No,
I
but
was
he
like,
was
come
saying-
He was on
on.
the podium.
Because then Verstappen didn't pit, and that's why he ended
but
up ahead of him.
Verstappen was on way fresher tyres.
Yeah,
so
which is why
I think he would have got him anyway.
I'd have loved to
So
know
I
if he
think
would
it
have
was
done that.
4-4.
It would because it would have been so close. I'd love to know if he actually would have done because obviously
Yeah.
Verstappen struggled to get past Leclerc, so he might have struggled to get past Behrman because Behrman defended incredibly the whole race.
Yeah.
He was such a good drive.
Yeah. Final thing on the whole Behrman thing. Obviously, the rookies of the year. He's a rookie
Yep.
this season. Does he go rookie of the year? I feel like Bortoleto. I know
It's him or Bortoleto for me.
Bortoleto. I think he's dropped off a little bit over the last few weekends.
Yeah,
But would
Hadjar's
you not
been really
put
good,
any
but-
of them in there? Because I mean, Hadjar and Antonelli have both secured podiums.
but Antonelli's driving in a much faster car than
That
them.
is true.
Yeah.
And he had that really awful bit of the season where he finished
Yeah.
like near the bottom for 3
Yeah,
races
that
in a
is-
Mercedes. I think it's Behrman or Bortoleto for me. Hadjar has had some very good weekends, but I don't think he's pulled it together as much as Behrman and Bortoleto being there the whole season.
No, I think it's so close between the three of them because they've all put in really good performances.
For me, Behrman's been the most consistent, but Hadjar's probably shown the best race so far.
I don't know. It's difficult
think-
because I think Hadjar's been very consistent as well. He got
Yeah,
the
but
podium
I
in
think if
Netherlands
you're
as
going to
well.
go on car-wise, I'd go either Behrman or Bortoleto because they're both
Yeah.
in completely
And look at the
aren't
team
in not as good cars.
and the
as
teammates
the
they're
other
up
two.
against as well. Hulkenberg and Ocon.
Exactly.
Two very
Two top
experienced.
drivers. Lawson is still kind of they classify him as a rookie. I don't classify him as a rookie. He's on a season Formula 1 already. Well, 2, sorry. So I don't classify him. But yeah, I think we'll definitely at the end of the season we'll definitely do some sort of review video on like the whole
Yeah.
season, do like awards videos and whatever. And I think that would be a very interesting debate because I feel like we're all going to give different answers to
Oh,
that
yeah.
because I think there's so many different elements. Final moment I want to talk about. I want to talk about this. The whole Hamilton and just the penalties situation throughout the race. I was absolutely fuming. First of all, I want to say, is that in a way, I'm kind of glad of that the incidences in a way because it's shown that Lewis is at the front again, which he hasn't been too much throughout the season. So anyway, I'm happy he's involved. He's a part of the drama because he ends up being part of the drama of the season. So I take positives from a lot of things. But no, Leclerc needs to give the pace back to Hamilton at turn 1. He keeps a bit. He's okay. He's like a little bit ahead.
Verstappen, you could argue as well.
A little bit ahead. Verstappen, he's way ahead of Russell.
He's
so he's
gone.
fine. So and then also and then Verstappen literally barges into Hamilton at turn 1 on lap 6. How is that not a penalty for Verstappen? I don't know. You can't just do that. Yeah, and he goes across the grass. Yeah, which Lewis can't do anything because he's compromised Lewis at turn 1. So Lewis's line is compromised for turn 2. So he can't get into the corner. Yeah, and it's still Lewis's corner as well. And then turn 4, Hamilton goes straight on, which I can kind of understand because he gains an advantage and whatever. But Max goes off the circuit as well. So Max Verstappen went off the circuit to defend, but Hamilton went off the circuit to attack.
But
So
wasn't Verstappen coming off of the track at turn 1 because he had nowhere else to go? And otherwise, if he was going to keep going, he was going to cause a massive collision.
On lap 6.
Oh, I was thinking lap 1.
Oh, lap 1.
You see, I'll go back to lap 1,
one's
turn
fine.
1. I
it's fine.
disagree. I think he's tried to outbrake people. He's braked too late, and he's gone straight on. That for me should be a penalty because you've tried to outbrake, you failed, and as a result, you've gone off track and gained.
I do actually kind of agree with that, yeah, because he's right on the outside.
He literally just brakes last minute and doesn't leave himself enough time.
And he put his car to the left of the 2 Ferraris, but
it's almost like that was his plan. Like, brake late, and if it doesn't work, I'll just go across the grass.
Which I've seen. Russell came out and said they need to do something about it because every single year, a driver always goes across the grass, and there's always a controversial of should he give the place back and whatever.
Yeah.
I think he should have given the place back to the Ferraris.
They need to put gravel there.
I think they need to just sort the rules out altogether in regards to gaining advantages, not giving places back. They need to all come together, and I've always said this, especially after Abu Dhabi, they all need to come together and redo the rule book. So, and outline specifically what is on the track, what is off the track, where the apex is at every single corner and every single track.
Yeah.
Because then and then no one can argue with you.
I saw Karoon suggest that they should make turn 1 a different profile. He said that they should make it like Bahrain, so you go straight on, and then it kind of comes back on itself, then left again, and then back onto that second straight.
Maybe, yeah, because
he suggested like reprofiling it because then people can't cut across, because if you cut across, you'll either be in a wall or you'll be facing the wrong way.
It's either that or put gravel there because there's gravel there, they're not going to go over it. So that kind of stops that. But I want to say as well about the rulebook thing is that don't forget the rulebook was written by Charlie White, rest in peace. He's no longer with us, but he was the one that writ the whole rulebook. So you got to think someone else is taking over what he's written and is having to understand everything he's done.
Which is why I think there needs to be a modern version.
Yeah.
Especially because of how developed the cars are and the technology that we have now.
Yeah.
The rules that were written then are not going to transcribe to the same rules as we've got now.
No.
Like, you can take things so out of context in F1, like, oh, he's here, he's in front, when actually he's not. He's like 5 meters
Because
behind.
you get the whole thing, he's first to the apex. But I think that some of that stuff is a lot of rubbish.
I honestly think they need to update the rule book.
Yeah.
Keep that one as a replica and as like a standard, but then bring in another one where this is the updated version, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're being a lot stricter now, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole season, they've been 10 seconds.
Yeah, because a lot of times I think there was arguments that drivers would go off the track, gain an advantage, only get 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And they could just make up the 5 seconds anyway, but 10 seconds is much more of a
They've been a lot stricter with grid places and just penalties in general compared to past seasons. And I don't know whether that's because of the controversy that's been surrounding the FIA and the stewards as much, but I kind of like it because then it disciplines the drivers a little bit more, so that they can't get away with it.
I'd still say the Hamilton one should have only been 5. I know 10's the minimum now, but it really should have been 5.
I think that should have been 5.
Yeah.
But my friend told me that apparently 10 seconds is the minimum for this race because of all of the stuff. They made it 10 seconds minimum because of all of the controversy in previous years.
Yeah, it's saying they've upped the penalties.
So it's hard because I think doing that you limit yourself because you can't give a penalty or you have to give 10 seconds, and that's not fair.
The thing is that Lewis has argued that why is he the only one that got on the track and gained an advantage? and he's the only one that got the penalty for it. When
That is-
everyone
yeah.
else at turn 1 did it. So I can kind of get, it maybe is a penalty for Lewis because he does gain an advantage by doing that. But at the same time, Max Verstappen goes off the circuit to defend at that same incident. So that doesn't kind of.
I'd feel very mugged off if I was Lewis.
Oh yeah, I felt mugged off sitting there. I was like, he's P3. I want to podium. Do you know? I had plans for this episode for me to come in like all like Italian and things like that.
Brilliant.
I was putting something in my Amazon basket and things like that. Like,
He was getting ready.
Well, I'm afraid.
I was gonna go with that big afro, like candy afro.
I'm
or
afraid
whatever.
you've got karma there.
Yeah, I know.
You should, yeah.
No, I was literally. I was at work the whole Sunday, and literally I was like, oh, imagine if he gets podium and whatever. And then literally the complete opposite of what I was
You
dreaming
have to
of.
save it for a season that you actually know that Hamilton's going to do
No,
decently
but-
if he's there for much
Yeah,
longer.
No, but it's just like when Lewis had a good result, and like I was optimistic. It's very hard in these sort of times and stuff. But yeah, I just feel like it just really frustrated me. Like with the whole Behrman like in P3, I was excited, but at the same time when he went through P3, I'm still fuming about
You're
the whole.
still- yeah.
I'm still fuming. Like, I'm literally like so. But yeah, I think I've calmed down a little bit now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you sure about
I
that?
think I've calmed down a little bit, but yeah. But at the same time, as I said at the start, that I'm kind of in a way glad he's involved in those instances because he's at the front fighting again, which is a good thing. And
It's a nice place to see Lewis back
nice,
again, back at the front.
I'd rather him not. He's finished. I'd rather him not. I'd rather him have all that happen than him start P8 and finish P8 because that's just boring. So,
Well, we've still got to go. over them.
we've done the main moments.
So
I
that's
think.
pretty much it, isn't it?
We can. Well, Anthony, decent weekend. Got the back pass from Arsenal.
Virtual safety car at the
Virtual
end.
safety, let's talk about the virtual safety car. But yeah, kind of science VSC incident was like, why? Why did that come out?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, I agree with Crofty. Like the car's behind.
Yeah,
the,
I
behind
don't
the
get
fence.
why
So
you
why
don't
is there a
give
virtual safety car still?
Safety car for that.
But what I saw is that apparently there was smoke on the car and whatever, and there's marshals on the track or they'll come out or whatever. So with the FIA, they had some sort of sensor monitor.
Very
thing
quickly, because
that-
you mentioned marshals,
that
what on
sort of
earth happened with the
Oh my
Lawson
lord.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
was
Honestly,
word!
that guy needs to
awful.
be, that guy cannot marshal ever again.
Both of them.
As a
because two of them
marshal
ran
myself,
across.
as a marshal myself, just don't run across the track of those cars.
Can you not hear a car?
Yeah,
going,
you
like, come
can.
down
You
the
can.
track? They're not that quiet. They're not as loud as they used to be.
I'm
but-
surprised he didn't hit them. He
Then
was
again-
very
Oh,
lucky he didn't hit them.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Literally, like, I'm surprised they didn't even show it on like, the main. They didn't show
They
it-
didn't show it on
but,
Sky
like,
Sports.
No, but yeah, that was crazy. I also want to say about George Russell. His radio during the race was quite poetic.
Yeah.
Oh, he
It
was
was
fuming. It was funny.
interesting, but
Let me
it-
through. I've got a McLaren up my arse.
It was. I mean, I kind of saw it coming. George Russell was a little bit of a grass. It was
Yeah,
quite nice to see him having the McLaren up his bum half the
Just signed a
time.
new contract as well, and
Yeah.
off his team and things. You know, that's good. But I think that's all kind of the main talking points. Sonoda had a decent race as well. Bottas was back in the points. Ocon also in the points for Haas as well. And yeah, Lance Stroll's his birthday today, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lance Stroll.
Yeah, we do love you.
A bit.
Predictions from last week, well, from Mexico. Only me and Liam scored the points.
Yeah, we had
Oh.
shockers.
Well done.
We each got 1 point. We got Norris to be on pole.
Well done.
So yeah, that was
We're
great.
great.
Guys.
We know
That-
so much about
that was
F1.
But yeah, all the other predictions were just nothing. But in terms of the leaderboard, the championship, I have increased the gap.
By 1 point.
By 1 point. Big points, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm on 20 points, Matt, you're on 17. Liam, I've given him the points that he had before from the previous people that have had the points. But he's on 13, but he's individually himself is on 5. And you have started with no pois. No pois.
Nil pois.
But shall we get on to Brazil? We're
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
not next weekend when this is uploaded.
Should we just do our poll and 1, 2, 3?
Poll 1, 2, 3. The next one is 19th, and even if they don't finish it, but they're still 19th on the leaderboard, that counts.
Okay.
And 12th pit stop.
12th pit stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll do poll 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go with philosophy that gamblers use, which is when you're in deep, keep digging. So I'm going to go Verstappen for pole and Verstappen for the win, because it didn't work last week, so it's going to work this week. And then I put Norris second, Piastri third.
Piastri back on the podium.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's been on the podium, eh?
I'm going to go Verstappen on pole, Norris for the win, and I'm going to go Leclerc in third.
Yeah, that's fair.
Seems to be having good luck recently.
Oh, I don't know, because I've got Norris and Verstappen in my head for. Oh, I don't know. No, Lando pole, Lando win.
Yeah.
He's going to
Yeah.
destroy the whole Max, loves Brazil and things like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
In second, I think Verstappen will be second, and I think Leclerc will. No, I think Russell will be third. Mercedes seemed to go well around Brazil. Obviously, they took the win in 2022.
Yeah.
Russell. 19th.
Gasly. I don't know why I've got a feeling it's going to be Pierre Gasly.
Franco Colapinto. I'm going to go with his teammate.
Lawson.
Fair.
Good one.
And top pit stop.
I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to go
Yeah,
for Carlos Sainz.
Fernando Alonso.
Esteban Ocon. There we go.
Fair enough.
I think that's it for this week's episode of the Chequered Show. Make sure you check us out on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Chequered Show when we talk about the Brazilian Grand Prix. Take care.